Hi folks, I'm Gene Della Sala, president of Audioholics, and we are here with
Hugo Rivera, vice president of marketing, and today we're going to talk about the old age argument of receivers versus separates. What can you tell us about that, Gene?
Well, you know, Hugo, there's always been the debates on the forums and in the audio community in general where people said separates are better than receivers or receivers are better than separates.
Right.
And you know, the real answer to that question is everybody's right and everybody's wrong.
Nice. You just confused everybody out there.
Let me explain why, okay? So let us define what a receiver is first for those that don't know.
Good.
A receiver is basically a single box that has your processor, your AM/FM tuner, and all the amplifiers.
Right.
So basically it's one box that does everything. Now what separates are is, it basically separates, you have two boxes, you have, or sometimes even more.
Right.
You have at least two boxes where you have one that's just the processor and the tuner, no amplifiers. Then the other box would be the amplifier itself. Now in this case, I brought out the Yamaha Avantage AV separates. We just did a video review on these. Very beautiful pieces.
Indeed.
So if you want to talk about the pros and cons of each, we'll be happy to do that.
Absolutely.
Basically, the pros of receivers is they typically are less expensive. The technology changes quicker, so you know, you deal with large companies like Yamaha, Denon, Onkyo. Their product cycles are like every 8 months. So if a new feature comes out, you know, if a new feature comes out, you're going to buy it on the next product.
Right.
Whereas with a separate processor, a lot of the separate processors that are done by the smaller esoteric companies, they may not come out with a new product for 5 or 6 years.
Correct.
Now, 8 or 9 years ago, that was a problem. You go and spend 10 grand on separates, and you're dealing, and your separates only have Dolby Digital, and now we have True HD, DTS HD, which are superior formats. Well, now you're left in the dust because you don't have a way to decode those.
And technology keeps moving on.
Right. Now, my argument, I come up with a different viewpoint on this. I think we've reached a point of diminishing returns in the tech. I think all the new products that are coming out now, like the processors and receivers, they already have the latest in HD decoding, True HD, DTS HD. They have all the high resolution audio already supported. And I don't think that's ever going to get better, especially in today's market where people are dominating with MP3.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
you know, the dumbing down of audio basically is you're not going to go better than what we have right now.
Right, right.
Okay? So the tech is there, the HDMI switching is there. You know, we have products that have HDMI upscaling with 4K pass-through, but we have no sources for 4K.
Right.
So 1080p is pretty darn good. So now that opens up to the argument where, hey, we could go separates and not be obsolete, right? Or we could go with the receiver if we don't need as much power.
Right.
And we'd be fine too. Now, there was a trend where receiver companies were coming out with these monster receivers about 7 or 8 years ago. Like Denon had their AVR 5805, which I used to own and I loved it. The thing would power a truck, man. It was like a 100-pound receiver. I mean, in that case, that was every bit as good as some of the best separates on the market. But it became a boat anchor when it didn't support True HD.
Yeah, that's a problem. You have to you have to use a pretty nice, you have to call AAA to go ahead and take it out.
Yeah, exactly. And what happened at that point was the receiver company said, you know what, the market is kind of dicey with the whole perception of receivers. Audiophiles prefer separates. It wasn't making a very good sale. So they said, you know what, we're gonna nix it. We're not gonna do these mega receivers anymore. And we're going to instead do separates, and that's how Denon started getting into separates, and that's how Yamaha is now doing the separates. Rather than having a $5,000 or $6,000 receiver, they now have this separate solution. So now basically, you know, my approach is a little bit different now. If you don't want to go with a processor, but you want to have the latest technology, you can go with a nice AV receiver, like a midline one, like a $1,000 model that has all your preamp outputs. And then you could buy whatever power amp you need.
Understood.
Because here's the problem with a lot of receivers, they don't have enough current capability to drive low impedance speakers. That's why you need a big honking amp like this,
right?
Or you know, even bigger sometimes. So you could get the receiver and get the amplifier and still tell your friends you have separates.
Right. That's a brilliant solution right there.
Yeah, I mean it's really the way to go.
Yeah, plus like you said, I don't think technology is gonna get any different in terms of the fact that, you know, MP3 rules these days, you know? That's
Yeah,
what
I mean,
everybody carries.
the only thing that like the receiver companies are just running out of ideas to add features to their products. So now they're offering, like Spotify, or they're adding more networking services. You can get those kind of features on a Blu-ray player.
Right.
You can get those kind of features on a smart TV,
Right.
and you can plug it right into your product anyway. So I mean, don't be afraid of the technology changes anymore, because, like I said, we've reached the point where we have the best video and the best audio support out of these products. Now just pick and choose the components that are right for you.
Awesome, Gene. So is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, other than the fact, the real reason why you might want to go separates over a receiver sometimes is more power. So if you have speakers that need more power, go with a separate amp. If you can't afford it right now, choose an AV receiver that has preamp outputs, at least on the front channels. That way you can later add a bigger amp to drive your speakers better.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard the man over here. He's dropped some serious knowledge today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to go ahead and visit our website at www.audioholics.com, and also feel free to sign up to our free newsletter, where you get tons of information. As soon as we post a new article, you go ahead and be receiving it, and you also get access to promotions that you will not be able to see on the main site. Furthermore, when you sign up to the newsletter, you also get our free ebook on our top 2014 AV picks. Gene, why don't you discuss that ebook a little bit?
Sure, no problem, Hugo. Basically what we did was we came up with a listing of some of the best products we've covered this year, and we put it into a downloadable and printable guide. So it's like a 6-7 page article. It gives you recommended buying guides for HD TVs, subwoofers, speakers, amplifiers, receivers. You're covered with all the latest products.
Yeah, you can just print it out and take it with you to the shop, and you'll get exactly what you're looking for, right?
That's right.
Anyways, if you like this video, feel free to rate it, comment below, and share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or any other social media. Again, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, keep listening.
Wait, just a minute. I have a question for these guys.
Go ahead.
Let us know if you're using a receiver or separates, and what do you prefer?
That's a good one. Awesome. Now, can we go ahead and close this one out?
Let's call it a day.
All right. Until next time, keep listening.